This is the first show, and hopefully not the last. So we've been thinking about this for a while. We've been building a studio with the goal of doing more regular broadcasting for you guys, and now we're hopefully there. We want to dedicate the show to you guys, so in the future we'll be featuring some of your stuff. So if you have anything interesting to show us, something that you think should be featured on global internet television, you can send it to us either by sending me an email directly or use our email address share@eveonline.com. In this show, we're going to be covering what's coming in Oceanus on September 30th. Important distinction. We're going to be talking about EVE Vegas, and we're going to hear from the guys who are running EVE Down Under. CGP Mimic is going to come here to talk about what happened in Creus and Hyperion and show you a lot of interesting graphs and numbers. Then we have an exciting talk about changes coming to 0.0, so definitely stay tuned for that. But to set this off, we're going to take a look at what is coming in Oceanus next Tuesday.
Hi and welcome to this In Development video. We're going to be talking about what's coming up in Oceanus on the 30th of September. We've got new burner missions, changes to modules, French localization and improved graphics, as well as much more. But here are the developers to tell you more about it.
Oceanus is going to contain the first big wave of the module tier-aside project that we talked about at FanFest this last year. It has a lot of the same goals as the ship tier-aside project that we've been working on that many of you know very well, where we're trying to make sure that every module has a good and valuable purpose, and we don't have any of these junk-named modules that no one has any use for. So we're going through and condensing a lot of modules into fewer types, but making sure that each of those types are high quality and have an actual value. And it's going to come along with a general cleaning up of a lot of our module tiers as we go up through the progression to make sure that that actually advances logically. This first group that we're working on includes capped flux coils, reactor controls, micro auxiliary power cores, CPU enhancers, and ship scanners, cargo scanners, survey scanners. So we're starting off with these modules that are relatively lower impact and a bit simpler to let people get used to the general plan of how we're going to be moving forward. And then as we go through different releases in the future, we're going to start hitting module groups that are higher impact, like shield boosters and guns.
We're going to be giving the option for you guys to turn on a new feature we're calling notifications. This is a system we've built to consolidate a bunch of the messages that you get all across the EVE client, pop-ups in the lower right about what's happening with your contacts, in the upper left about your skills, in the middle of the screen about who knows what. We're going to try and collapse all those things into one nice looking system to give feedback to people in EVE. We're doing that because we're working on the new player experience and we wanted a clean way to send new players messages about what they're doing in EVE, and we saw an opportunity to make improvements for everybody. You can have it as an option, so after Oceanus launches, head into the escape menu. You'll find a checkbox in the general options where you can turn on this feature, and that'll allow us to get a lot of really good feedback in a TQ environment rather than only on Singularity, so that by the time we do ship it out to everybody in a future release, we'll know that we're in really good shape and everybody's going to enjoy the feature.
Last release, Hyperion, we released 4 new burner missions, which were very well received and have added a bit of difficulty to EVE for people that felt EVE wasn't difficult anymore. And we've been seeing really positive results from people taking the missions, people talking about ship fittings, discussing tactics, people even ganging up against the NPCs. And we felt it gave a little bit of fresh breath to the NPE content. So we decided now to add 4 new missions coming out in the next release. They're going to be a little bit different, but in the same vein as the burner missions. You're going to be facing an assault frigate NPC, and he'll have henchmen. So he'll have 2 logistic henchmen following him around and repairing him. So the challenge for the player is to go and apply damage on the right place at the right time and then chunk their way through the mission. So we're hoping not to have as much of an intensive fight as in the last 4 burner missions, but more of a slow build-up and like good excitement and a good challenge mainly.
In Oceanus, we're introducing a feature that will allow you to import and export fittings in plain text format from third-party sites such as PIFA, EFT, and Gearboards. These kind of features are mostly based on your requests and feedback, so if you want to contribute, go on the forums and take part in the discussion.
Hi, I'm CCP Tara. I work in the localization department in CCP, and I'm in charge of the French translation. We've been working hard for the past few months, and as a lot of French-speaking players are already playing the game in English, we decided to launch the game in French, so the players can have an even better experience.
We are working on an update to the wormhole objects, so now you can see what the maximum ship size is that can pass through a wormhole. We made 4 distinctive models, 4 different colors, that tell you how big your ship can be, so it passes through. The actual graphics look a little bit like we had in the trailer. That was our visual guidance. We wanted to make it look more trailer-like. I think it's really beautiful, and I hope it helps you with your fleet going into a wormhole. And once you reach into the wormhole, you will see new wormhole backgrounds. We gave all the wormhole backgrounds an overhaul. We increased the resolution. We repainted them. They are now of the same specs as all the other backgrounds in the game. They are just beautiful. The next thing we'll introduce is the new cloak effect. So I am in my crow ship here and I am going to cloak now. So you disappear, the nice effect, get a hexagon UI overlay. That is your ship when it's cloaked. You can clearly see the direction. Uncloak effect. You just come out of nowhere. Here you are. That's the cloak effect.
Don't hesitate to give us your feedback on the forums. Et les Français là-bas, n'hésitez pas à nous rejoindre, on vous attend.
All of that is coming in Oceanus and more. So next Tuesday is the day to wait for. Patch notes coming out soon, so stay tuned for all that. So with me now, I have CCP Rice and CCP Fossey to discuss what's coming in Oceanus. Hey guys.
Hello, glad to be here.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. So where's your woolly coat, Rice?
It's too warm down here. I need it at my desk.
Yeah. The spotlights are hot, man.
I'm trying to engage your primitive culture as well as possible, and the woolly coat goes a long way.
Thank you.
Going full native, yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. So let's start with the features that are coming. One of the big ones is obviously the start of module tierside.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Just recap a little bit. What are you starting with?
Sure. So we released a devlog about it today, and so everyone can go check that out, of course, after this TV show. The first set of modules we're hitting all the fitting modules, so reactor controls, micro auxiliaries, CPU enhancers. We're hitting cap flux coils, the scanners, ship scanners, survey scanners, cargo scanners, and light missile launchers. So the kind of pattern we're establishing here is what's going to continue with all the rest of the modules. We talked a lot about our high-level goals. We're trying to make sure that there aren't a bunch of junk modules that no one uses.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the same goals we had when we redid the ship tiers back when we were going through Tech 1 ships, where it used to be that like you'd see a ship like the Bellicose and there'd be no reason to fly it. But we actually are making them so that they all have their own purpose and specialization. So you can decide, do I want a module that has lower fitting, or do I want one that has more capacity or more range or whatever?
Yeah, and the naming convention is changing to highlight that. So new names for named modules.
Yes, they're going to be getting a bunch of new names. I know there's some people that are very attached to the old names, but I think they'll grow to love the new names just as much. And we're going to find some way to keep the ponage. I know that's there's been a lot of discussion about that. Our target painters have the best names of any module in any video game ever.
They are pretty
And we're going to find some way to, I think it might just end up moving to the description or something. I'll write a big wall of text description with a bunch of lore about how ponage happens.
Details about the new naming conventions are in the blog, and I like it. I think it'll make people's lives easier when they're going through their gigantic hangars.
We get to make modules called Ample now, which makes me very happy.
Yeah. And the Limos missile launchers will be compact now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think the Limos. The Malchus and the Arbalest are going to become compact. The Limos and the TEs are becoming Ample.
Yes, that's it. I use guns these days. Yeah. So, burner missions. Burner missions are there's new ones coming, new styles of burner missions as well.
Yes, we have also had a dev blog about this recently. The existing burner missions, we've been getting a lot of great feedback about it. People within the company and outside the company are having a ton of fun playing these missions. They're a lot more challenging than previous missions. So I think it's going to take a bit of getting used to. There's a lot of people that have come into these missions not really knowing what to expect, but as we release more of these kind of tougher missions, I think people are going to start to kind of know the kind of challenge they're facing. We're releasing 4 new ones in Oceanus, and they're going to be breakaway factions from the Empires. And they're a single assault frigate with 2 logistics frigates repping them. So they're actually on Sissy now, and people can try them out. We've done the same thing we did with the old burner missions, where when now on Sissy, they're the only missions available at level 4. So if you talk to any level 4 agent, you're going to get one of these new burner missions, so you can try it out right away. And we also have a bot ready that'll give you standings, so you can actually get the standings for them.
That's really great, so people can try them out pretty easily. I've actually been watching some of the GMs here fitting ships and doing burner missions. They've been dying quite horribly. It's really funny. We should have recorded it because players would love to see the GMs.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of, me and CCP Beta can be getting a lot of emails from people that are like, well, so we brought 5 people in and eventually we managed to beat it. It's great to see people playing, getting engaged in the game. We're talking to a lot of people that are playing more since these burner missions came out than they had in the past 6 months combined. Yeah. And it's great to see when you give people a real challenge like this, there's going to be some people that really want to beat it. They want to set that challenge for themselves.
Do you think that the mix of people coming together, cooperating on these missions, and the increased difficulty level will push people to try PvP if they haven't?
I think it's very different gameplay than PvP, but if you are playing with friends, then perhaps that's the kind of thing that's going to get you more interested in taking that group of friends out and trying PvP as well.
Yeah, or just shoot your friends.
Yeah, we want to make sure that for both PvP and PvE, there's a lot of really good stuff to do in EVE.
Awesome. So notifications. You talked about notifications. You really want people to check them out, give us stats, help us out, make the UI better.
Yeah, there's kind of 2 things exciting about notifications coming out in Oceanus. One is just that it's a feature and we're putting it in the game and it's going to hopefully make things better. It's on kind of our NPE roadmap where we're trying to make improvements to a lot of fundamental stuff to support new players. And we think that'll be good for everybody. And that kind of stands on its own. A really exciting thing is the nature of this release where, kind of as I mentioned in the video, it's an opt-in for now. And it's important to say for now, there was a little bit of hint on the forum that some people thought it was always going to be we're going to start releasing a feature you can either have or not have, which won't always be the case, but for now we're kind of releasing it as a beta. So the feature's going in with Oceanus, there'll be the option to go in and hit enable in the escape menu, turn it on, try it, and give us feedback, so that when it does get released to everybody, it's the best feature it can be, and we have a lot of early indication about what can make it better and how people are using it and all that. So that's really exciting. That's something I don't think EVE's been able to do ever. So we're really happy about it. We hope people go check it out and can't wait to see kind of how that turns out and how it shapes the feature going forward.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it.
I think so.
Yeah, and importing EFT, all that stuff. What can you tell us?
Just that it's awesome. I'm personally super excited. I'm really big on laziness in EVE, and I feel like we're chipping away at a lot of these speed bumps that are busy work that I could make someone else do, or that I don't want to be doing, and get into action faster. And this was a big one for me, where you can just go copy someone's smarts fit, put it in your clipboard, and then hit one button and have it loaded into your save fittings in game. And so we're just a couple more steps, got to handle that market piece a little bit, but pretty soon I'm hoping to just be able to go to a kill board and then have a ship and then go out and start fighting again. So
yeah, more time to fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we want, and I think this is an awesome step towards that. And Karker's done a really good job, kind of setting it up, and it should be really easy to use. And I think people are going to have a really good time with it.
Yeah, I think with this and the module changes, like people who love to fit ships will have a good time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of great new options.
Yeah. So. This is the fourth release since we changed course and stopped doing 2 big expansions and did started doing more frequent releases. How's it been working out now that we have 4 under our belt?
I think overall quite well. In a lot of ways, the first 2 releases were more like the old release schedule. Kind of the work that had gone into them was kind of more monolithic and like it had been aimed at a specific time from when it started. So these last 2 releases have been the first ones to really use the new schedule fully, I think. And you're going to be seeing over the next couple releases, especially some of the larger features that can be done with this new feature with this new release schedule start to come out.
Okay.
I think in a lot of ways, it's similar to the old system we had where we had the point releases in between, so we could always release like module balancing in between and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the big advantage of this one is that when we can actually decide we want to make this big change, but we don't know exactly when it'll be done. We can say, oh, this is going to hit in November, but it might slip to December, but that's fine because it's not the same as slipping like 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're seeing that in action, like with the notifications. I think it's been a really good proof of concept. The flexibility we gained for that feature, where we were scheduled to sort of release the whole thing in this release. We have the flexibility to release it in a new way or push it back a little bit just to make sure that we have really good quality when it actually gets to people without disrupting a whole bunch of plans and causing everything to be a mess. So, it's really, really good.
Yeah, good for everybody.
Yeah,
and a lot of good stuff coming for the rest of the year, of course, but we're focused on Oceanus coming next Tuesday. Now, CCP Mimic, she's been doing some research on what happened in Creus and Hyperion. And let's take a look at that, and we'll be back with cool guests talking about cool stuff.
The release of Creus on the 22nd of July saw major changes to industry and EVE, the very backbone of the game. We introduced changes to compression and reprocessing, as well as balancing changes to other industrial activities. These changes have created a drastic increase in activity across the board, in particular to material efficiency and time efficiency research, which saw an increase of 161% and 128% respectively. The removal of slots has allowed access for more people to run these activities, and we have seen not just an increase in the amount of activity, but also an increase in the number of people trying it out. Although material efficiency research activity has fallen slightly, time efficiency has stayed high. Reverse engineering, which has seen only an 8% increase, continues to be volatile. But more about invention and reverse engineering is detailed in CCP Eterbium's dev blog. Hyperion, released in late August, saw a variety of changes to different aspects of the game. We saw the beginnings of changes to wormholes, shareable overviews, and increased services and items available in the New Eden store. The ability of players to now activate Plex for another character has been well received, with 90% of gifted Plex going to alt accounts. Hyperion also saw the introduction of burner missions, and as many of you have discovered, they are not for the faint of heart. Since the Hyperion release, more ISK has been destroyed in burner missions than any of the top 10 alliances have been able to destroy. 50% of the missions have been run solo, and we are starting to see that although the NPCs are still winning, players are improving. This is in no small part due to how well you've all pulled together to share fits and tactics on the forums. More details about the burner missions is detailed in CCP Fozzie's recent dev blog, where he also describes what to expect in the future. There have also been multiple quality of life changes introduced in Hyperion, and these will continue in the next planned release, Oceanus, which will be coming on the 30th of September. Be sure to check out CCP Seagull's dev blog about what is coming up, try it out early on the Singularity test server, and watch the patch notes page for specific details. But that's enough of graphs and numbers for now. Here are some random explosions.
Hi, yes, I've just been studying up on Las Vegas, going there soon obviously, and here to talk about Las Vegas and eVegas and everything is CCP RUFFIGE, and I also have with me CCP Son 3 from the trailer team. I can't talk about Vegas without my special Vegas glasses.
Understandably so, yeah.
So, what's happening with eVegas? We're selling a lot of tickets, a lot of people coming to Vegas. So what are the latest numbers?
Yeah, we're selling way too many tickets.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to 500 tickets with eVegas.
500 tickets.
And
that's
still
pretty
3 weeks away. So this is looking really good. This is going to be the biggest and of course the best eVegas so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking good for October 17th. We kick the event off.
Yeah, October 17th. There's still tickets left if people want. We started to sell pub crawl tickets 2 days ago.
They just went live.
Yeah.
We already sold half of the kind of capacity we have there.
Yes.
Those tickets are limited, so I would just encourage people to buy them now, or at least check it out if they want to join us for the pub crawl. It's going to be epic, of course.
It's best not to miss the pub crawl. It's an epic pub crawl. We'll go on a giant wheel and
oh yes, it's included,
included in everything, and
a ride in a high roller, and it takes place in a very exciting area called the Link. So yeah, check it out, the pub crawl for eVegas. If you're coming to eVegas, you should at least check out the tickets for the pub crawl.
Then we have all the presentations, the roundtables. We have eValkyrie.
Hands-on eValkyrie.
We have Eve TV live there, doing all kinds of stuff. You could be on Eve TV.
Tournaments and just in
prices.
Sorry?
Prices.
Oh yes, Eve store. This is like, it's everything.
Lots of stuff, and the cool swag you get for coming. Like
yes.
Megatron, all kinds of stuff. So.
And the speaking schedule is looking really good. Like the presentation schedule, we're gonna release more names to that in the just coming days. So this is a very a good mix of both the presentation from CCP and the players. So this is looking really good, exciting schedule, which we're gonna tell you more about in the coming days.
Yeah. What's happening with Paris? We're launching Eve in French.
Yeah.
Already we have a lot of French corporations looking to take in new players speaking French and all that stuff. And many of them are going to be coming to meet us in Paris. Tell us about the Paris gathering. Yeah,
to celebrate the launch of Eve Online in French, we're doing a special event in Paris. Next week, October 2nd. It's a player gathering. Unfortunately, there are no tickets left for it, but we're still collecting names on a waiting list. The sign up for the event itself, it was over in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
But we're taking the MoMA exhibit video to Paris. So this is the first time we take it from New York. We're doing some exhibition of art from the game, concept art and stuff like that. We're gonna put that on the walls there. And some more interesting stuff we're gonna tell people about and people are gonna experience who turn up for the player gathering on October 2nd.
Yeah. And then if people go on the waiting list and then they don't get in, they can still go to Amsterdam, which is happening in Amsterdam, not too far away, 3 hours train ride. I'm taking that train ride myself, so it's gonna be fun. And that's gonna be pretty great. You can buy tickets for Amsterdam at amsterdam.com. That's a growing big event led by former CSM member and former CEO of Eve University, Deirdre Rao. Great event. So you're Son 3. You're not coming to Vegas with us, so I just wanted to let you my book, so you can at least read about Vegas while we're there.
I'll read this and just pretend
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But you're here to tell us about a pretty cool initiative that the trailer team is working on.
Yes, this one is a bit different. We thought this time around we'd make a trailer that attempts to show a snapshot of authentic gameplay. Just show, EVE Online in all its glory, just for what it is, and how much fun people have playing the game. You go to YouTube and look up EVE gameplay videos, and people are just having tons of fun.
Yeah.
So we thought the best way to convey the idea of people, having fun and getting excited playing the game and getting involved in these intense situations, is to use actual in-game comms, and that's why I'm here to, ask if there are any players out there that have these in-game comms recorded. If they would submit them to us, we would try our best to, implement them into the trailer.
Yeah, so people could be the stars of a new
absolutely
epic Eve trailer. That's amazing. And the link. Share.eveonline.com?
That's the one, share.eveonline.com. There's a bit more information there for people to read through, and just send us your stuff, and it could potentially be the best trailer ever.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff.
How about that?
I like that.
I always get goosebumps every time I watch your trailer, so I can't wait.
Very kind.
They're amazing stuff. But we are going to go to an interview I did with the guys running Eve Down Under, which is the largest player-run Eve gathering in the world today. So let's go see what they had to say, and then we'll be back with more guests talking about 0-0. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. It's a true pleasure to have you on. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourselves?
Hi, I'm a self-declared high-sec Care Bear, although I have been playing Eve since 2009. January 2009 is my first character. But yeah, I've dabbled in a few different areas, but mostly industrialist, high-sec kind of guy. Yeah, so that's me.
At the moment, I'm in a corporation called Van Diemen's Demise, which is an Australian time zone corporation where I've just joined Pandemic Legion after a couple of years in Northern Coalition. So mostly I do sort of play DayZ, a bit of League of Legends. No, I'm just kidding. When we do stuff, we do block level sort of PvP and occasional small gang roams and things like that. I've done a little bit of everything in Eve. I've been playing for about 10 years now, so I've also had experience doing wormholes, and I spent 3 years doing level 4 missions, So yeah, I've had a finger in all the pies.
What is Eve Down Under, and where did the whole thing come from?
Eve Down Under is, Bam and I like to call it a bit of a movement now, but it started out as an idea that I had when I first attended FanFest back in 2011, a bit of a mecca for all of the Eve players, as a lot of people have been there know. Went there and didn't know what to expect really, but was awesomely surprised by how fun it was in 2011. But because it's on the other side of the globe for Australians, thought, wouldn't it be awesome if we could bring a bit of that magic down under to Australia and give the guys in Australia an opportunity to attend a similar sort of event.
So what kind of activities can people expect if they come to Eve Down Under?
Like if you look at the FanFest program, it's modelled after that. Literally, the idea of a bit of a get-together with your friends and your corpies and your other people that you might fight against. So that's the key point of it. But so on the Friday night we have a bit of a sort of a reception, so people can link up with their mates and get to know each other on the Friday night. And then on the Saturday is the big sort of main presentation day. We've got your good selves, CCP Games, are going to attend, of course, and so we'll have some main keynote speakers like they do at FanFest. And then we have some question and answer sessions. We also have got some other, we're going to try a bit of a TED style presentation. Bam, do you want to talk about the TED concept we've got this year?
Oh yeah, we're going to keep the same long form presentations, because typically at these things you get like a speaker who gets on their feet for 45 minutes and gives a PowerPoint presentation, all that. We're going to do that this year as well, but I'm also opening the floor up to people who maybe have things they want to talk about that they're passionate about in game, but don't have enough material that don't justify a full 45-minute session. So we're also going to have some shorter 15-minute sessions for people who just want to get up and talk about wormholes or talk about industry or whatever. So, and we're taking applications for those speakers now.
So I've heard about a special format for a PvP tournament that you have. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a 16-player 1v1 tournament. We'll do that on the Sunday for about 3 hours. It's on the big screens. People sit up on the stage, and the key component is you've got 2 minutes to fit your ship from a set of T1 cruisers, and then 5 minutes to pew against the other player. And it's a spectator sport. It's a lot of fun. It's quite challenging, and so that's the other kind of cool thing that we've established. It's the characters are identically skilled. It's actually you log on to our characters, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
So how big was Eve Down Under when it started, and how big is it now?
We started out in 2012 where we got 145 attendees, which was beyond my massive expectation on the first event we ran. And then it's grown from there. Last year, in 2013, we had over 200, and hopefully we'll be pushing north of to 50 this year. But it's very hard to predict, of course, but we've got great response from the Australian community, and it's awesome to have the guys support the cool event we're running.
And finally, do you have any advice for people who may live in an area where there are no EVE gatherings taking place currently and have an interest in setting something up?
For advice for someone that wanted to start an event, maybe start small and organise a few people in your local area. Put it up on the EVE forums, of course, and see how you go. Or if you want to run a full sort of organised ticketed event, just plan a few sort of activities, whether it be a speaker. Obviously, CCP Games have supported us beautifully. In 2012, Guard got onto the Skype call with us, and then obviously we had CCP Fozzie attend last year. So the whole idea is starting off small. Set your expectations at something reasonable that you can achieve, whether it's a single night event or a multi-day event, getting people to come to, and that's sort of how I'd suggest you start, is just set your bar and go for it.
That's it then. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. We wish you all the best with EVE Down Under. Good luck. I love EVE Down Under. It's a fantastic show. If you ever want to visit Australia, you would be wise to do it around EVE Down Under and go there. It's a pretty great show. So this year, CCP Rise and CCP Logi Pro will be making their way to Australia, to Sydney, to be at EVE Down Under. And you should listen to the EVE Down Under radio show all Fridays, but especially tomorrow there may be some announcement there where the guys running it will be talking about stuff during downtime when Australians can't play because of time zones. But enough of that. We have important guests here on the set. Welcome CCP Greyscale, CCP NULLARBOR.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
You're welcome.
This is awesome. I love being on internet television.
Yes, global internet television. Yeah. It's very important.
HBO's got nothing on this.
Yeah, no, nothing. So we are here to talk about important spaceship stuff. Stuff that will shape the future of the universe.
Yes.
To be a little dramatic. So you guys recently formed, as Fozzie posted on the forums, there's a 00 working group in progress. For those who may be brand new to EVE or just tuned in randomly, 00 space is the lawless space, which or the self-governed outer regions of EVE Online. And you guys are planning to do changes to them soon.
Yes.
And so let's start by asking the question, the obvious question: why change 00?
It's been too long since we've done it before. It's got kind of stagnant out there. The major coalitions have basically solved the game. They figured out how to win, and now they're winning. And it's kind of boring for everybody because no one actually wants people to win in EVE Online. Everyone wants to try and win, but when people get to that point, we're like, oh, we won, yay.
There's just been so much feedback as well. And, we've been seeing all the forum threads and the Reddit posts and the Twitch comments, and people are screaming for changes. And we've been trying to find time within the other plans that we've already made to get this work done. And we think we've got something very soon, a little bit further and a little bit later, iterations that we want to be making to this area of space, and realistic, goals to sort of get us along that path.
Yeah. So these are things we're not just talking ideas here. We're talking plans that are in motion and will take place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. So tell us a little bit about what are the first changes you will be making and when people can expect to see them on TQ.
So the first stuff that we're touching is to do with capital ships, force projection, jump drives, movement in space, and particularly movement as it pertains to moving instantaneously. So jump bridges, jump drives, clones, this kind of thing. We have been looking at this. We want to basically slow down movement. We're pretty happy with how jump drives and stuff work in a small area, but for long distance travel, it's causing us a bunch of issues. It's distortion. One of the big things we're worried about is the prevalence of really, really large fights, which are awesome, but it's because the entire universe is turning up for every single scrap, which we think is unhealthy for a lot of different reasons. So we want to constrain the use of jump drives and jump portals in particular for long-range travel while not hampering their use as a tactical tool.
We're particularly concerned about them. There might be groups of players who are refusing to engage because they know of the threat of a huge force that's, you know, just within a few minutes reach. So we want to create sort of more pockets of interesting fighting all over space without just everybody lumping in on top of each other.
Yeah. So the timescale for this is hopefully, get the names right, Phoebe, possibly Rhea.
I never remember the names. So there's
November and December.
We have 2 releases remaining this year.
Yes.
And it'll be in one of those 2 releases that we're making significant changes to this.
So significant changes coming before the end of 2014.
Yes. Yeah. And then with that, we'll release that. Obviously, we have clear goals that we want to meet. We'll be watching how it plays out on TQ. We'll be making adjustments as needed to make sure we meet those goals once we've got to them. We then have sort of medium-term plans for next year to touch more of the sort of solve and control side of things. And then obviously everyone who's seen CCP Seagull's big plan, like there's a major solve block once we get past like the Starbushers and corporation stuff, which is an ongoing effort. We'll be doing a serious revisit of nullsec and how that works later, but we know that we need to touch it before then. So we have this change coming this year, we'll have a change coming hopefully early next year. Middle of next year, whatever, and then longer term there'll be a much bigger change. We know we're not solving everything here, we're just trying to make things better while we build the runway to get to the end goal.
We have some pretty clear goals as well, which we've laid out as this is what we're trying to achieve. And something we've been doing a whole lot more recently is making sure we really collect data post a series of changes to validate that our assumptions were correct and the changes have been, are working correctly according to the numbers and not just forum feedback or anecdotal sort of, feedback. So we will be watching how these changes affect how people move and how people fight and the kind of engagements that we're getting. And if we haven't got it right, we'll do more changes. This is very goal-driven and not just something we'll just throw on TQ one day and then forget about it and see how that goes.
So we've talked processes, we've talked goals, what we want to achieve. When will people hear details?
We are going to get a dev blog out 95% certain second week of October explaining what we're doing for this year. That's our target. We're working on that at the moment.
Next 2-3 weeks.
Next 2-3 weeks there'll be a dev blog explaining exactly what we're doing.
And then definitely release this year within the next 2 releases this year.
That's pretty awesome.
It's exciting.
So
it's the first step. It's not the whole thing, but it's a big first step. We know there were more changes that needed, like Noel needs a lot of love, but this is going to make a big difference. It's going to change a lot of things. People are going to have to figure out like what the new winning play is, and I hope that's going to take longer this time. It's going to be interesting.
We'll see how fast people figure all this stuff out, and I for one look forward to releasing more information about this. So the CSM was here last week. Had a very good summit. You talked with these things about with the CSM about these things, CSM 9, and how did they react?
I think cautiously positive is how I'd like they were on board with the direction. They like the idea, a lot of the ideas are knocking around. Some of them didn't think that they're going far enough, and obviously we have further plans. We're well aware of that. There's more changes we want to do, but I think the general mood, both among the nullsec players and among the lowsec capital users as well, was that they were very broadly positive about this change. There wasn't a lot of dissent or like dispute about it, which was like, this seems good. Here are some tweaks that we'd like you to make. And we're like, yeah, most of them made sense. We've adjusted our plans, and now we're like getting into a place where we're ready to take it to the players with the dev blog. So it's been very productive.
Brilliant. So we're looking forward to the dev blog. Also, I have some good news for those of you interested in the democratic process of EVE and what happened at that summit. We now have a firm release date that we're committing to for minutes, and they will be coming out October 31st. So reserve that date to read pages and pages of meeting minutes from the long multiple meetings that were held here at CCP headquarters. People were in meetings from 9 in the morning till 7 in the evening.
It was grueling.
It was a brutal schedule.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
And then discussing things at the local afterwards. So.
Yeah. Where the real solutions
long
come.
days. So so that's it for that. We look forward to hearing more. And we have some other stuff to move on to. As you know, we had a contest running on Twitter to help us get the word out about the show, and the prize is this signed box, this collector's edition box, which has a lot of devs you have heard about, and maybe some you haven't heard about yet, but you will if you want. So we got a lot of good pictures. Let's see a few of those pictures that we got. There was a lot of good pictures people sent us. We asked people to give the salute, use the hashtag, and help us get the word out about the show. Lots of familiar space bros and sisters sent us cool pictures, and it's a fun way. It's a fun way to get things out there. Yeah, it's a cool looking robot arm there. Yep, it's amazing. Some people sent us their characters. So yes, so this, as stated by our lawyers, this piece of unopened collector's edition signed by
graffiti
developers. Yes, Dev Graffiti. I picked the best spot because I was the first, or that's in my mind. So me and TCP Rise here with hearts around our names together. It's quite cute.
I wrote my name upside down because I'm from Australia.
Of course. There's no horrible content here, so this is all family friendly for global internet television. And so I want to announce the winner. I have the winner right here. So let's check it out. The winner is Levi Currit, or Greeley, as he is called on Twitter. Can we have his picture? Oh, okay. I'm being told the picture failed, so we don't have the picture, but you can look it up. It's Greeley on Twitter, Levi Currit. It was pretty cool. He was doing like a salute, so I tell you about it, with a carrot. So the only picture we got of someone doing a salute with a carrot. So he's a worthy winner. Congratulations. We will contact you and send you the details about shipping this box. And so that's that. Our first contest on this show is done. All right. So after this, we want to get some information from you about how you like the show, so we can keep evolving this thing with you. So there's going to be a survey link posted, and you can go to the survey and tell us just how awesome we are on a scale of 1 to something. And after this, after you've gone and taken the survey, I want you to head over to Sir Squeeple's channel. He's the streamer of the day. Sir Squeeples is a great guy who was on the Lions tournament commentating the other day, and he's going to have something cool on his channel, and the link will be posted for that soon. So head over to Sir Squeeples. For us, we are done for now. Next show will be sometime in October, date to be released later. Thank you for watching the 07, and I'll see you on the internet.